It's these two guys.
These two guys.
It's these two guys.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hello, everyone.
George Henry here,
And Larry Richardson.
and we are
These two guys.
So, Larry, you know that summer is right around the corner, right?
Yes.
Summer is right around the corner. And what are we wearing?
Sweater.
We're wearing sweatshirts because we live on the coast, and it's not that warm here. But I don't know if you knew this or not, but June 22nd of 2025 was what day?
I have no idea.
Our very first podcast.
Oh,
We are
yeah,
celebrating our
that's right.
1 year anniversary.
That's right.
I knew it was coming up, but I wasn't sure of the date. And we did sort of like a little preview one about a month before that.
Yeah,
but our first official one was June 22nd.
How about that?
How about that?
yeah.
So this weekend is the weekend of our anniversary. So happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. And
Yeah.
thank you guys for sticking around this long
Yeah.
and putting up with us. We appreciate you. We love you.
And our latest one got over 140 views on it,
Already?
which the Bricks and Minifigs
Yeah,
one. That sort of jumped up there.
And
We
that's a
get
big
some-
story.
Yeah, that
That's a
was.
big story.
But let's recap the week first. Are you into UFC fighting?
I used to be, not anymore.
Yeah, I used to watch it every now and then, but there's been this big thing about being on the White House lawn and how much money it was going to cost. What was it, $80 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Something crazy, and our president said no taxpayer money was used,
Right.
and it's an event at the White House. These people are getting all up in arms because their favorite comedian or their favorite actor or their favorite musician
Yeah.
has shown up at this, and they're just blowing up
A lot
about
of
it. How do you
wasted
feel
energy.
about that?
I think it's wasted energy. I've kind of, to be honest with you, when I hear Trump and outrage in the same sentence, I've kind of gotten mute to that now. It's got to the point where just if the guy takes a poop, someone's going to size it and compare it to, Obama made bigger poops. It feels like that's where we've gone.
I didn't think that's where you were going with that. Okay.
But I mean, that's what it feels like with these. And yeah, we had under Biden, we had the pride thing where people were walking around naked and stuff on the White House lawn and stuff. So I mean, it was
What?
like, yeah,
I missed that.
yeah. Well, I won't say naked. I heard half naked, and they might have been
Scantily clad?
Yeah,
Okay.
but but I wasn't outraged about that either. I mean, like, it's who cares?
Well,
At the end of the day.
there's been parties at the White House for the last 250 years.
Yeah,
This is nothing. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a bit extravagant, big money out there.
Yeah.
But it was a huge event.
Right.
It's our 250th anniversary. I'm not saying that I'm in favor of all that stuff, but I'm not saying, to me, it's not that big a deal.
It gets pretty bad for me. I didn't think it was that big of a deal either. People were complaining about the jets. Oh, this costs money. Well, the security, it may have required more security because you have people there, but I think any event will require more security. So these are all standard, allotments, I believe, when it comes to an event. The bigger the event, obviously, the more security you're going to have.
Well, and if someone's complaining about the jets, got to clue you in on something. These military pilots have to have so many hours in training a month. So it doesn't matter if they're in formation over the White House or if they're over the desert in California. They have to have so many hours in.
Exactly.
They're spending the money anyway.
Right. Yeah,
So
the
it's
money's
not
going to get
like-
spent anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not like that's that big of a deal. But I thought kind of looking at this is going to kind of go into our later art versus artist kind of conversation.
Oh, that's good. It's good. Yeah, be a good segue because like I said, I mean, I literally muted the whole thing. That in the reflection pool. It's like,
You mean the algae pool?
The algae pool. I posted a funny meme. It was Uncle Eddie from European Vacation, or from the Christmas Vacation movie where he's dumping his RV into the sewer, but instead of that, they cut him out and they put him over the reflection pool and he's dumping it. And I just thought that was completely funny. It was very appropriate.
Funny. It's hilarious.
But yeah, I've just kind of become a little mute to it. So forgive me if I don't have all the facts in the background in this, but we do have some.
But what if, I mean, you know what? If it had been, let's just say, if it had been a George Strait concert, you know, on the White House lawn there, and they built this huge, you know, area for people to go, I would probably have gone.
I think you still would have been outraged because the name Trump is attached to it.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I mean, for
you, no.
For you, no. I'm just saying, but a lot of people that are really angry about all this, I guarantee you, if Biden had done this, we wouldn't have heard anything about it.
Well, yeah, I think it is. It's what is that? Trump derangement syndrome?
TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
And I think there is some of that. I think that there's some people, no matter what he does, they're going to be upset about it.
I have a friend that literally, I don't think this guy sleeps. I see posts there's two guys I used to work with, and they're great guys, and I love them to death. If you guys will watch, which you probably won't, because they assume that I'm a Republican. It is wall to wall. Every other post is something about Trump, and some of them are just so far fetched. Well, me and another guy would jump in and was like, you know, we don't care about you posting this, but that is a completely flat out hoax that's been disproved several times, you know, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care, even though he knows it's a lie. He'll post it, and I don't care what he posts. I mean, you can feel however you want to feel, but some of these things, it's just the outrage over absolutely nothing, or the self-inflicted outrage. Like you're literally looking for things, or you're just finding something that's not true, and you still find a reason to be outraged or angry about it. I think that's why people think there is a such thing as Trump derangement syndrome.
Trust me, you don't have to look for stuff sometimes. I mean, sometimes stuff happens.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, when people start looking for things.
Yeah.
One of the ones the first one I saw was Nate Bargatze. You know, he's a great comedian. I don't know his politics. I've listened to his comedy. I have no idea if he's Republican, Democrat, Independent, what. He goes to this, and he doesn't on his social media, he doesn't say he's going. Mm-hmm. He doesn't talk about the event or anything like that. But actress Cheryl Hines, who happens to be married to
Ted Danson? No.
She's
Larry David.
No. She's married to Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm, but she's married to the politician. Robert Kennedy Jr.
Robert Kennedy. Sorry,
married
guys.
To Robert Kennedy Jr. Yeah,
I knew that there. For some reason.
My brain is old. You know, so they took a selfie together. You know, Cheryl Hines, you know, Robert Kennedy, and him, and then Cheryl Hines posted it, right. And then all of a sudden he starts getting slammed and I think it's because he didn't say anything about it himself. So they were thinking he was trying to hide it.
The Robert Kennedy didn't
No,
say
that
Bargatze. Nate Bargatze
was trying to hide it.
I'm trying to remember who Nate Bargatze is. He's just a comedian. He hasn't done any movies or anything.
He's got a movie out now that was just in the theaters last week. And
is that the one about?
Forgive me.
Not the one about the parenting, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I actually watched that. That was actually kind of a funny movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. So that was him. Jack Osborne. I just saw a video of him today. And he's going on there and he's talking about, you know, since I was 10 years old, I was taking karate, jujitsu, all that stuff. I was really into that. I did Muay Thai when I was overseas and all that stuff. He said, I've always been into this, and it wouldn't have mattered, you know, who was there. And then he shows a video of his dad, Ozzy Osbourne, at the correspondence dinner when George Bush was president. And George Bush calls him out and says, and Ozzy Osbourne. And Ozzy gets on the table and he's like, yeah, and he's blowing kisses to everybody, you know, because Jack was trying to say, you don't know my dad. You don't know if my dad would have been upset if I'd have been there or not. And they're making some big deal about it.
Yeah, and it's a UFC fight. Since when of going to an event states what your party allegiance is, right? Like, what if Chick-fil-A is what they're Mormons? Was Chick-fil-A is Mormon? I forget the religion behind Chick-fil-A, but because I go there, does that make me that religion? I mean, I don't understand the connection between.
Well, it's like if I go to a gun range,
doesn't mean you're a second A, you know.
Second Amendment, First Amendment, Second Amendment. Does it? Yeah, I mean, it could be any reason for that. If I go to a church function, if I go to one of our local guys' functions there where he has all the right-wing folks over there, if I go to someone who's got all the left-wing folks over there, it doesn't mean who I am. I just have friends that are on both sides, so I support them. And that's kind of what I wondered about this.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, to call people out, and it's creating that divide that I talk about so much.
Yeah,
you know, it's
and
unnecessary.
It keeps perpetuating this you against me kind of feeling. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to touch on that and do an update on that. You know, it was the president's birthday, so you know it kind of
The big
coincided in that. It's hard to believe. You know, I was listening to the Rolling Stones song "Angry" that just came out the end of last year, and I was thinking, 82 years old, and the Stones are still pulling out quality music.
I heard, yeah, and I heard someone mentioned that Paul McCartney just put out another album.
Yeah, but I have a problem with that.
I haven't heard it, so I don't know.
The last 5 or 6 albums Paul McCartney put out just didn't appeal to me at all. But this Rolling Stones album, it sounds like the Rolling Stones. Paul McCartney sounds like an old guy who can't sing anymore. I'm sorry, Sir Paul. Please forgive me for that. But
so to fact check myself, Chick-fil-A is they're associated with Christianity, so they are closed on Sundays to reflect the founders' Christian beliefs. So, you know, I mean, I have Christian values, but I'm just saying, is that, you know, just because I go to Chick-fil-A doesn't make me a Christian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
just because you like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, doesn't mean you're Mormon.
Exactly.
I just don't get this. I mean, it's like we've gotten so polarized over time that it's just nuts.
It's ridiculous. I mean, hate the man. I don't have a problem with people hating him. I don't like him myself, but just to find everything that is done is just completely distracting.
Yeah, but,
and even for people with him.
I don't even hate the man. I don't respect the man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't hate him, though. I mean, you know, we're all people walking this planet. We all have our path to do. Some of us are on a good path. Some of us are on a bad path. I don't want to hate somebody because they're on a different path, you know?
Well, there's a lot of people that literally, I mean, hate, me, hate's a strong word. I don't, there's maybe one person on the planet I actually hate.
Who is that? Not me.
You know, it's not you. Okay, no, it wouldn't be close. It is nobody you've ever seen or heard.
Do they know who they are?
They know who they are.
Okay.
They would know who they are.
Do they live in town here?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
good.
Their
eliminates
history,
that one.
yeah, their history way past where I used to live. But you know, you got Tony Hinchcliffe is actually, he was there, which I expect him to be there, and that guy is not afraid of controversy. I don't think he really cares, but I don't see anybody can be frustrated with him being there because you know he's going to be there.
Right.
Joe Rogan, also somebody I see that was there, that's expected to be there. Roman Reigns, I never heard of that guy before.
I've heard the name, but it doesn't really ring a bell with me.
So his WWE superstar received criticism online after attending, particularly because some fans already associated him with conservative politics.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're WWE, it only makes sense that you're going to want to show up there.
Yeah, it's the UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a publicity stunt. You remember when Tyson was doing wrestling, and I mean all these other real fighters would go to wrestling, and vice versa. Not
I think
vice versa.
Ronda Rousey even did it, didn't she?
Yeah. She's the UFC. I think a WWE
personnel.
Yeah, I mean a lot of these guys do. Even Trump did it.
Well, yeah.
Trump was
one of the first big, huge celebrities that did that.
That went with wrestling, yeah. So I mean, it's nothing that's strange that a lot of these people would go. Zach Brown, who's that? A country superstar.
Country Brown, yeah. And again, there's a lot of artists in Nashville that are Republican and support the president. Nashville's a big Republican town, although I know a lot of people in the songwriting business that are not. A friend of mine writes for Loretta Lynn. In fact, he's married to Loretta Lynn's daughter.
Oh wow!
And he's not a Trump fan, but there are a lot of people that are.
So I mean, are these are we assuming that some of these people? I don't know how Nate's
Well, that's what I'm saying. He didn't.
popularity is going to fall off or anything, but
Well, he's already getting backlash. So I don't know how much that'll drop. It's hard to say.
I mean, do you feel that goes beyond? That's kind of like, it's almost like the rebirth of cancel culture, but this one is not even from doing anything. This is just guilt by association,
Yeah.
right? Is that? Am
Well,
I?
but
am I?
but that's kind of what like the Epstein files brought on. If your name was mentioned in the same breath, oh, you're guilty.
Yeah, you're guilty.
Yeah.
The email literally reads, "Oh, Larry came to my house and he emptied the trash can, and I told him it's okay, and then he went about his way." Well, nope, you're guilty.
That's right. You were there.
And I was mentioned,
You were mentioned.
so I'm
You
therefore
were in
guilty.
the email.
Yep.
So, yeah, I just don't know about that.
Yeah, I feel for these guys. I feel for anyone, until Trump's out of office. I feel for anybody who has a career that has even seen it, has a picture with that guy, because I think they're going to be a target.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a target. I mean, that's again, it's UFC fight.
Here's another aspect from my own personal, is that years ago when Hillary Clinton was running against Barack Obama in the primaries, I got to interview Hillary Clinton. I tell people that today, and they kind of look at me like,
Did you talk about the emails?
no, it was before all that
was
stuff
a
came. This was
Benghazi.
2008.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like they look at me like, oh, so you're a Hillary supporter. No, I interviewed Hillary.
Interviewed her. Yeah.
That's different. I mean,
It's
goodness gracious.
you say I had an interview with Hillary Clinton, and in their head they hear, "Oh, you must support her because you talked to her."
Yeah.
That's this.
And I'll tell you, from my perspective, a lot of years in broadcasting, I mean, I interviewed Mark Meadows, former chief of staff for Donald Trump in his first thing, but before he became
chief of staff. Yeah.
So, and I liked Mark. I thought Mark was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I liked Hillary. I thought she was a nice lady. Doesn't mean I support their politics.
Right.
I support them as human beings. So,
Look, I'll tell you something. I'm not even going to lie about it. If I'm rolling around in California and I see a big old sign that says Gavin Newsom's giving away free barbecue and I'm hungry, I'm stopping to get some food. I don't care. And I don't like the guy. But I'm going to stop and get some food because I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be some good barbecue, especially if it's one of my favorite places that's cooking it. But doesn't mean that I'm associated with them.
No. And God forbid if Larry was associated with Gavin Newsom, I think we all know how he feels about that.
Yeah, that guy. Oh.
So you're not going to vote for him?
No, I can apparently because I just need if I wanted to.
Well, he's not running for governor. He's termed out. I'm talking about
oh, that's
running
right.
for
Yeah,
president.
no. I probably can still. I mean, if they're going to clean the voter rolls, I can probably vote from several states, or at least a few states I've lived in.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, no. Oh man, this is just terrible. This whole UFC thing. I think it's. I think in my personal opinion on it, I think the anger and outrage just needs to go away on this particular one. There's other things you can be angry about, but this one needs to go.
Yeah, this is a moot point. So some of you out there may have seen our next topic that we're going to talk about, because when I was producing the video and Larry's audio was bad and I had to redo that, I tagged a portion of what we were going to talk about at the end of that. There's like our last podcast, and then there's like a 10-minute break, and then there's the rest of the audio on there. So I had to go in there and edit it out of the YouTube video for that. But Larry and I got into a conversation last week, and we thought it was a good conversation. So we said, well, we'll just make this into a podcast. But then when we found out that Larry's audio was bad, and I didn't want to have to, everybody listen to that again, because we had to use it for the one, because we could never recreate it.
No,
we could never recreated that one. No, which is really sad. But anyway,
and if you guys watch us, we're not scripted. We don't, we're not doing the teleprompter thing. This is shooting straight from the hip, keeping it real.
And my son goes, well, how come you didn't know? I'm like, because we don't have a producer. Right. In order for us to see the audio, we have to check it beforehand. Check it sometime during when we're having the thing, and then have somebody on the other side saying, yeah, you're still good.
Yeah.
But we don't have a producer yet.
And that's up to you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Willing to get somebody on the payroll, and then we can have somebody stand behind the cameras and make sure that the audio is always 100% for you guys.
And I haven't talked to my wife yet, but the other room may be opening up soon. and it's bigger. So we might traverse over to the other side. So because we have this, it feels tight in here.
It's
Anyway,
comfy. I'm
it's
claustrophobic, but I think it still feels pretty good.
Well, there you go. So anyway, one of the things we discussed last week was, can you differentiate between an artist you like, right, and the art they do if they get involved in a scandal?
Yeah.
And so we start of that and see if we can take off with it this time and go with it.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some of you guys' comments on that too. Like, give us some examples of an artist that maybe you liked at some point in time in your life. You just thought this person was the bee's knees, and then all of a sudden a scandal came out and you decided you want to cut them off of your life. Like, at what level do you cut them off? Do you not watch their shows? Do you not listen to their music? Do you turn away from them? And this spawned from a question I had with a friend of mine the other day. We were sitting there, we're talking, and I just asked, I said, can you separate the art from the artist? Because I find that I can in certain situations, and I think that there's certain things that I would not do going forward knowing who that person is. But if it's something I've already experienced, if it's something I've already lived through or whatever, I probably can. And so one of the...
So if you, for example, someone has an Academy Award winning performance, and it's not their first one. They just have this ability to act that well, and then they get involved in a scandal.
Yeah.
Does it depend on?
It depends on the scandal. Number one. I mean, honestly, it's terrible. I don't care about adultery. I mean, that happens, right? So if that, what's her name? From the Twilight movies, which I have not watched, but the what's her name? Kristen Stewart had an affair with the director of one of the movies,
Right.
And all that type of stuff. Like,
wasn't she dating Robert Pattinson?
Yeah,
at the time?
Robert Pattinson. She was dating the lead vampire, I guess the lead character from the series. And
No, wait, I got to back up a second though. You haven't seen the Twilight series?
no,
The first one is really good. I mean, really good.
I've put them on. I just never watched them.
You never watched them?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Twilight.
Really?
Yeah.
I found the first one was really good. I've seen them all, but I only liked the first one.
Yeah, usually after, I mean, it gets a little thick in the jawbone after
Yeah,
a
it gets
while.
too much.
It gets a little bit too much. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway,
But yeah, so that wouldn't stop me from watching her movies. That wouldn't
Right.
stop me from watching the director's
well, what would
movies.
stop me from watching her movies is I don't think she can act.
That's a good reason to not watch her.
I don't think she could act. So if she were to be involved in a scandal, more so than that one that you mentioned, I would probably be like, I can do without her.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, she did that one movie where they were underwater, and it was a kind of a horror movie, survival movie. I didn't think she did too bad. I mean, she didn't have to. It's in an action movie and a horror movie. You don't really have to put your best acting chops out, right? You're just more physical and grunting and running and all that type of stuff. But
we have to have the surprised look.
yeah, she didn't have that. She didn't need it.
Yeah.
And most of the things were like CGI anyway, because they were like in these deep sea suits and stuff like that. But yeah, it wouldn't have stopped me even if I was a fan of her. It still wouldn't have stopped me.
Yeah, but what about Denzel?
So Denzel, we did talk about Denzel. We talked a lot about Denzel. Denzel, first of all, I don't think the guy could ever be part of a scandal. I think he's too straight-laced. But again, it would depend on the situation, right? Let's say if Denzel name came up in the Epstein files and it literally made him a contributor,
A1 target. Yeah.
Right. He actually did something compromising him. Would I stop watching Denzel movies? In that situation, maybe. And again, maybe. And it depends. If it said, oh, Denzel's in the Epstein files, no, it's a grain of salt and it's tossed off my shoulder. Give me something hard. Give me something tangible. That might change the way I see him. Going forward, now, would I still watch if Glory showed up or, Fences or one of these other movies that he's done where he's done superb acting? Am I going to turn it off because I was like, I don't want to see this guy's face? I don't think I'm that guy.
I just was now thinking about this, and I'm sort of like you are, but all of a sudden it hit me. If it came out that Denzel had an affair, I think that would hurt me more.
Yes.
Because he is so straight-laced. He is so dedicated, to his family.
I'd lose respect for him, but I don't think I'd stop watching his movies.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But I would be like, come on, Denzel, we count on you, to be above.
Yeah, you're a
reproach.
role model.
Yeah.
You're a role model. And I mean, who do you have? Who would you? So who in your Rolodex of actors or musicians that can never do any wrong versus one that is like teetering on I can easily walk away? We know Kristen Stewart's definitely one of them.
Well, I mean, again, it goes down to their ability to act.
Mm-hmm.
The better the actor, the more leeway they get from me.
Right.
But, thinking about it, I mean, I could probably go old school and have a little bit more than that. But as far as, I mean, Harrison Ford comes to mind. But, he's had multiple wives. He's had affairs. He's had this. And he's a good actor, but he's more of a movie star.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see him as Han Solo. I can see him as Indiana Jones. I can see him as Jack Ryan.
Right. Right.
Couldn't really see him as the president.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of did, but
I could, but yeah.
he was too action hero at that time.
Yeah.
Because when was the last time you looked at a president and said they'd be a good action hero?
Nah, never.
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 Maybe Eisenhower. Well, even Eisenhower, but that's way before our time.
Well, there was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer,
Right,
Vampire Hunter, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I just don't. You don't think of your president as being an action hero, so that's why that didn't really resonate with me.
But in that movie, I didn't think he was an action hero. I think he was forced to action, and he had the physical chops to take care of what he needed to take care of. That's the way I saw it. I didn't see him as an action. I went to go see it because he was an action hero,
Right.
But I didn't see him as an action hero until he had to he put hands on Gary Oldman.
All right, but okay, let's go back. Let's put Bill Clinton in that airplane.
Yeah.
Same outcome?
I need you to get off this plane. No.
Barack Obama, same outcome?
Yeah, no.
No.
George
Bush, definitely not.
Definitely not. No. I see what you're saying. He's definitely more of he was an action star, putting us in a situation where you kind of have to believe that he could do what he did.
Yeah.
And that kind of defeated the reality of this guy being an actual president. Right.
But now, like you said, going back, I personally, I know he's had a couple movies that weren't great, but he's had so many more movies that were great. Denzel Washington, I could probably forgive him for almost anything.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see Flight? You saw Flight.
I seen Flight.
Flight. I mean, you felt so bad for this guy. I
did.
I really believed this person.
So people are going to hate this when I talk about Denzel. So we talked about this during the last podcast. And I think it wouldn't be fair if I didn't repeat what I said because you guys didn't get to see it. But
we can just pretend that we didn't have this conversation.
Yeah. But Denzel to me is always Denzel. His character, he has a great range. He can do a lot of stuff, but it's not really much of a range. Denzel is always Denzel. I mean, you look at Training Day, he kind of went out of character, but it was more of an exaggerated version of Denzel. It was just like, what if Denzel was a little bit more unhinged? It was still Denzel.
What about American Gangster?
He was more subdued, but a calm gangster. He was still more of a subdued version of Denzel. And then, I can't expect him to walk around with like a different accent or stuff like that. Like I think he did Biko, and he did the South African accent. He did a very, very good job in that. Mighty Quinn, he did the Jamaican accent, or kind of almost a Jamaican accent. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these are not great works. And the fact that I remember this guy's library is confirming that I love Denzel Washington on screen. I'll watch him on just about anything. But now, if today we find out that he did something and he's on Epstein file, and then tomorrow there's a new movie from Denzel Washington, I might be like, am I gonna send him more money now? Am I gonna put more money in his bank account? If I had solid proof, probably not.
Well, the way I look at it, he's already been paid for the movie.
He's already been paid for the movie.
So,
right. But every ticket is another
residual.
Another residual.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of. I think I would be hypocritical if I would go, but then I would like,
You
am
don't
I
wanna
going to miss
this.
out on a
You're
great
gonna- what
movie?
you're gonna miss? Yeah,
You know, I mean, Kevin Spacey,
yeah.
you know, I mean, he got canned, you know, he got canceled, but some of his movies, some of his acting is just phenomenal. 21, I mean, I liked him in
Oh,
21.
God,
He was such a prick in 21.
Yeah.
You know, he got what he deserved in that movie.
L.A. Confidential was one of the first movies where I really got introduced to Kevin Spacey. And then after that, I think I watched The Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects, Kaiser Sensei.
Yeah, as Seven. Even though he only had like a few
Seven.
minutes in Seven, you know, the guy still commanded everything when he's on screen. And Kevin Spacey's one of those guys that I will go back and still watch his movies. If it's on, I don't even really remember what he did. I mean, I know he did some things. I know there was some sexual allegations and things like that. I know what he did. But I'm not thinking about that when I'm watching this movie, American Beauty, you know, things like that. He's a solid actor.
Yeah. All right. So that's a couple of them down there.
And then we got to look at the top guy on our list, Harvey Weinstein. If we were to stick by the fact that the art and the artist are mutually connected, then we wouldn't watch almost anything in Hollywood because Harvey Weinstein's name is connected to just about everything.
Right. But with Harvey Weinstein, obviously a pervert, no doubt about that. But he's never been in one of the movies.
No, maybe if you see cameos, he shows up here
Maybe.
and there.
But I mean,
yeah.
but Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to watch Pulp Fiction because
His name's
it
in the
was
credits.
produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
I mean, you know, they're pretty much going to take his money anyway. It's going to the lawyers,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, his name is, he's one of those guys, unfortunately, his name is associated with just about every big movie in Hollywood and TV.
And so many women came out against him. It wasn't.
He was a complete scumbag.
Oh, scumbag, definitely that. There's two in here that are interconnected here. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now, did you watch any of the Johnny Depp?
I watched
trial?
the whole thing. Yeah, I even watched the. It was a fake, but it was Jason Momoa, and he was doing the his testimony over over video.
Yeah.
But it was fake, and they were asking questions, but he would give his own answers, and it was. If you haven't seen it, you got to go see it because for the first couple of seconds, I thought it was real. You know, I literally thought it was real. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. But Amber Heard, I mean, she came up with some. I mean, she came up with some stuff about Johnny Depp. But what we learned about her was way worse than what Johnny Depp was up to. I mean, Johnny Depp was doing drugs and stuff like that, but she was like crapping in the bed.
Yeah, and then I think wasn't there a video, and I don't know if they've actually ever confirmed it, but she was sleeping with James Franco too, right? Where they got in the elevator.
That's worse than pooping in the bed.
That is very worse because that guy is a complete scumbag too. He's also somebody who's been canceled. But there's a video, I guess, of them getting in the elevator and he's trying to cover his face. And it's like, dude, you can cover your face as much as you want to. We just need one little glimpse and realize this is James Franco. And I guess it was the elevator in a place where they were both living, where Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were living. But yeah, I mean, his Pirates of the Caribbean movie got canceled.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think they pulled him out of the spinoff from the Harry Potter movies. Something Creatures or whatever.
Yeah.
They pulled him out of there. So he lost a lot of things. They totally cut her out of the Aquaman movie because of all the truth that got exposed with her.
Yeah.
So Hollywood will kind of prune its own people. You know, they will prune their own when given proper motivation.
But I don't know if I'm correct, but aren't they planning now another Pirates with him in it?
I just heard something about this the other day, and I mean he's got pretty much exonerated from everything that was said. So I'm sure they just want to give it some time, let it die down, which is smart. You know, if he got case dropped on Monday, you don't start making plans on Tuesday for a movie because half of America was hating the guy.
And again, it depends on what you're accused of.
Yes.
In other words, he'd never come back from an Epstein mention.
No.
Probably.
No.
But this was a domestic thing for the most part.
And I guess he was a part. Some of that stuff was him. Like. But
Well,
most of
yeah,
it's
but
her.
the thing was, is that, she was asking for money and he ends up getting money.
Right. Right.
So, you got to be careful,
With
And
candy
again, why expose yourself to all that crap? I mean, she really thought that she was going to come out.
timing. She was on the tail end of the Me Too movement, and I think she probably had someone who was
Someone who was giving her advice saying,
Right.
you can cash
capitalize
in
on this. Yeah, I mean, I think the timing would have been perfect. In any other given situation, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody's out there thinking
He would have been the new
checkers.
Matt Lauer.
Right, right. Some people would think that maybe she would have been, somebody's playing checkers while somebody else wants to play chess, and I think that's what she probably thought she was going to get away with because there
Now-
was a lot of support for her.
Now, Matt Lauer, that's a guy I could care less if I ever saw him
Yeah.
do anything ever again. I mean, he had a magnetic lock on his door that he could lock from his desk so people wouldn't come in while he was assaulting or, coercing these women.
Ooh, I haven't heard all that story.
You haven't?
No, I remember when he got in trouble. I remember
Yeah.
when everything but I was never a Matt Lauer fan anyway.
Right.
But so
He was skeezy.
yeah,
I mean, he was doing all these things. He was, and he was promising these women, jobs and stuff like that and moving them up the ladder because he was Matt Lauer and all this stuff. And then he had these locks. He could lock the door from his desk so he could have sex with these women in his office.
to promise them power and things
Yeah.
like that, and then never deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather if he did or not. I'm sorry. Some people out there thinking,
Maybe he
why does
delivered.
it matter? But no, and that guy was. I always thought it was funny because the few interviews I've seen him do, I for some reason, the reason why I never really watched a lot of Matt Lauer, I just felt that there was a lack of integrity with that guy.
He just seemed like he was too hard on trying to get people.
Yeah.
He had that one
Get you.
with Tom Cruise where, he was like all about Scientology.
Ritalin and all that
Well,
stuff.
and about
Yeah.
Scientology. And it was like, it's like, I'm here talking about my movie.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember the Tom Cruise interview. That was actually because I've always been kind of a Tom Cruise action movie fan. Not Tom Cruise himself. See, it was where the art and the artist are separated. Tom Cruise, I didn't care about Scientology. I didn't care about his marriages. I know he has like one kid, maybe. He has a couple kids
Two.
with
Siri and forget what the other one's name was.
yeah, see, I don't remember either. But I can tell you all the movies he's done
Yeah.
because I'm concerned more about the art than the artist.
Yeah, but okay, so if I'm going to blacklist somebody because of their religion, it's kind of hard to do. And he had that moment on Oprah when he jumped on the couch.
On the couch, yeah.
But I've watched probably 30 or 40 interviews since then of people that have worked with Tom Cruise saying that he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal to work with. He's giving. He's considerate.
Yeah.
He respects the people. He loves the fans.
Right.
So it's like, he's not going to try. He's not going to come to you and me and try to convert us to Scientology.
No.
Because we don't have money.
I don't see that. I guess we don't have money.
No, really, seriously.
Yeah.
They want people that can contribute.
Yeah, no, I remember and the things I've seen of him, like the one when he's on a walkway, I think he's in like Rome or whatever, and the guy has a microphone with the water gun in it and squirts him in the face. And Tom Cruise grabs him, and he's just like, no. He tells the police, everybody, you're gonna wait till I finish here. And he goes, why would you do that? I'm giving you an interview, being nice to you. Like, why would you do that? And the guy I think he starts crying, because the police is now behind him. He's caught. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
He's getting lectured on camera by Tom Cruise.
Right. No, I've seen him get upset with people a few times. Like that kind
The
of why would you do
outburst
that
during COVID.
Yeah, or the thing when he was doing a movie set. But he was like,
It was a reason behind
a movie is money.
Right.
Every second you waste is money thrown down the drain.
Right.
And he was trying to get people focused on what they were doing, trying to get things working.
Keeping the safety protocols
Yeah.
going. I mean, if you really listen to that argument, people will say, oh my God, he lost his cool. If you listen to it, he's like, these people are depending on us. People have jobs here and they'll shut us down. He wasn't just being a jerk. He was literally telling people like,
It was
they
righteous
shut us. It was a
indignation.
righteous, right. Yeah. It's not like, what was the Christian Bale, losing it for the guy
God.
for standing in his light or whatever. It wasn't just because it was something that was done to him personally. Tom Cruise's anger was because all those people are under his employ. If this movie gets shut down, all these people, they don't work.
I think even Christian Bale had something where somebody coughed on set or something, and he got irate, or somebody was sitting.
It was the guy walking through his light. It was the.
Well, that was one, but there was another one.
Oh, I haven't heard about this. I haven't heard the other one.
There's something. Someone made a noise on set. He's like, "Can't you fucking guys, be like professional?" I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah, yeah.
But-
So now and Christian Bale's done great work too. He's one of those guys that I would probably still end up watching some of his stuff, but if he did something really, really bad, I probably wouldn't watch anything new. I don't think I'd miss Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a good actor, but some of the movies he's done lately, I would sit there and watch him. It's like,
Well, somebody who's not embroiled in all this, talking about the art and the artist, is the guy that his name just left my head. I can't believe it when that happened. Nicolas Cage.
oh, Nicolas Cage.
Now, Nicolas Cage has had some good movies,
Yes,
and he's had some real stinkers.
all his direct-to-video movies pretty much. They're Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah,
They don't
but what I'm saying is, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to watch a Nicolas Cage movie unless somebody came to me and goes, "Oh my God, you got to see this movie,"
Yeah.
because he's had so many stinkers that I'm like,
I think he's had way more stinkers than he had good
Yeah.
movies. But
now I understand Spider Noir is pretty good,
yeah,
so I might check that out.
it's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
not true to the comics, but a lot of these movies aren't.
Well, it's not true to the current comics, right? Doesn't it have some history in the originals?
Spider Noir, I think it's kind of a newer character, but I think like the origin story doesn't match.
Right,
you
right.
know,
It's
the
not our
age
typical
of-
Spider-Man story.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
anyway,
yeah, Nicolas Cage is one of those guys. I agree. He's
and he's not somebody who's really, other than he owed
Multiple
the IRS
wives.
money.
yeah,
You know,
he's got poor taste in decorating.
yeah, well, that's true too.
He's got very
Get a
poor taste.
dinosaur one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are a few of the people. One of the ones that I thought would got me, and you might not be aware of this, is Chris Noth. Chris Noth was Mr. Big and Sex and the
Oh
City.
yeah. I remember
Law and
him.
Order, The Good Wife. Then something came out about him that he's denied, but he was on The Equalizer with Queen Latifah, and they killed him. Right, the next
Oh,
the next
wow.
episode came out. He was in an airplane, and a bad guy crashed the airplane and killed him. So he was gone. I'm like,
He was he a regular on that show?
yeah, he was a regular on the show. He was a regular CIA agent, and I'm like, this is guilt before you even have a trial.
Yeah.
Guilty before you're proven innocent.
So that was also during that Me Too movement,
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
when that was all fresh and cancel culture. So yeah, I mean, you were definitely guilty before proven guilty.
Yeah.
There's no innocent.
Even if you were innocent, you were guilty.
You were guilty.
If just something came out about you, and it's like, you're learning now that some of these people were caught not being guilty.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I think was it like Jonathan Majors, right? I think he was one of those guys. He was the Marvel banked a lot of money on him. He was supposed to be the next big bad. The next two movies is going to come out, which is now Tony Stark, or not Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be the big bad. Jonathan Majors was slated for this, and they had him do the Loki show. They also had him do Ant-Man Quantumania with a end credit scene that set him up to show who this guy is. He was going to be Kang the Conqueror, and they set a roadmap out for like 3 or 4 years for this guy. And then he got into that scandal with his girlfriend, I guess, and it was a physical abuse thing where I guess he hit her or something like that. And then you see him throwing her in the car, but you also see him running away from her. I think he was like trying to get away. I don't know all the particulars. I didn't really follow the cases and everything, the story, but his career basically just tanked,
Well, and that's one of those things where, I'm not going to say anything one way or the other because I certainly don't want people to get the wrong idea. But you've got domestic violence situations where I agree, a man should never attack a woman. A man should walk away first. But there are women out there who will try to get you to hit them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They will do whatever they can to incite you into doing that and then claim abuse.
And they claim abuse. And
you can only, some people can only take so much.
Yeah, you get pushed into a corner. I mean, it's not like it's not like a woman can't give a guy a black eye or can't hurt them physically. So yeah, at some point you might have to defend yourself. And but
keep going. Keep going. I'm not even gonna say it.
I'm gonna ask what this is later on, so you guys can maybe we'll bring it up in other stuff.
Oh, I think some of you know my sense of humor. You probably already know.
But yeah, a lot of these guys, Jonathan Majors, yeah, I think he was found innocent and everything, but again, his career took a nosedive.
Yeah, and it can't recover. It's hard to recover.
It's hard to recover from that. Yeah, I mean, you know, and I remember one of the guys, what was his name? Chris Hardwick. I don't think he's on here. Chris Hardwick. He was. I used to watch him. I mean, I've watched this guy since I was a kid. I watched him back when they used to have the video games TV stations. I think it was like something one or K1 or something like that. And he was a host of a TV show. And then he went to host that show after The Walking Dead came on. It was like you'd watch an hour of The Walking Dead, and you watch an hour of him with some of the stars, and they would kind of recap the movie, the show, and talk about what the next plans were and all that type of stuff. And then there was allegations about him, and they canceled him, you know, and he got pulled. His show got pulled. Everything got pulled instantly. Now, at that time, this was still heavy in the Me Too movement. When I first heard about it, I kind of like didn't want to watch his show anymore either. Right. And that was when I did not separate the art from the artist. And then come to find out the guy was completely innocent. It was just somebody just spreading rumors and stuff like that, you know. And he finally got back on the air, and he's crying. And I was just like, you know, I've watched this guy almost half my life. He's a great guy, you know. Why would I, first of all, think he did it? Or why didn't I even research it? I just kind of went with exactly what was said when it was said. He was guilty. Instantly, he was guilty.
Well, and you know, and then there's these guys out there who manufacture stuff, you know, and then they make it bad for everybody else because, you know, all of a sudden you're believing the story, Jesse Smollett. You're believing the story, right? And then to come find out, he hires these guys to beat the crap out of him, you know? And then it's like, well, how much else of this is going on? You know, how many other people are doing this? How many women or how many men are involved in, you know, just making shit up? So that they can get the upper hand on somebody.
And there's a lot of it. I think, what was it? Army Hammer, I think he actually did do some stuff right. He was messaging underage girls, and I remember something about cannibalism. you guys are finding value of this. Comment. Let us know what you think about this. Maybe you know more than we do. I would love to hear from you guys because I do remember hearing things about Army Hammer, but he was never one of those guys.
I watched The Lone Ranger, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why even do this movie?
He should have got tanked on that one alone. Now, The Social Network, I think he was pretty good in, but you know, it was a character piece, so maybe a little easier.
Although Tonto was really good.
You mean the culture appropriated Tonto by Johnny Depp?
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah. And yet, Robert Downey Jr. can play a black man.
You know, he's one of those guys too.
When I first saw that movie, I did not know that was Johnny Depp when I first started watching.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. That's what I meant. I did not know that was Robert Downey Jr.
I knew it was him just from the trailer.
Right.
But I mean, we're talking about Tropic Thunder. If you guys have not seen that,
so you give him grace on that?
Oh, he's get a complete pass for me.
Yeah.
He gets a complete pass for me. I don't. To me, if I was to, like, you know, it's like some certain characters, like even C. Thomas Howell with Soul Man, right,
which I thought was a good movie, but
I never even watched that all the way through. I've watched a little bit of it, but I don't think that there's some stereotypical stuff in there, which is kind of terrible. But being a black man, I can tell you some of it is true. Like, people think we eat watermelon and fried chicken, you know, and it's kind of funny because a lot of us do. We do. It's always watermelon and fried chicken. And, you know, not in an Uncle Tom sense. It's just one of those things that black people do. We love our fried chicken.
It's funny. I just saw a video yesterday. I was watching it, and it's a black guy, and he's got tortillas in his hand. Mm-hmm. And he goes, you're Mexican, right? See, I'm Mexican. And he goes, what's the difference between the corn tortilla and a flour tortilla. And the Mexican guy goes, one's made of flour, one's made of corn. Oh, okay, thank you. And then a little while later, you see the Mexican guy coming down the aisle with a watermelon. And he goes, hey, can you tell me how to tell if a watermelon's ripe?
Yeah.
And the guy looks at him and is just like, I was like,
Some
okay.
stereotypical things are just actually true. I mean, like, mayo and things of that nature, right?
Swimming.
Undercover brother with the mayo, with the watch, with the hot sauce. I don't do mayo. Swimming.
But then what about like Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins?
Oh yeah,
Joel Grey playing an Asian
the
man.
Asian guy. Yeah.
I mean, why was that not
I think
at the time? Was it because of the time?
Because of the time. I think at the time it was. I mean, John Wayne playing Genghis Khan. Nobody cared really much about that back then.
Well,
But
what was Genghis Khan? Well, I mean, he was Mongolian.
he was Mongolian.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's I don't know.
Well, if they didn't have to put prosthetics to make his eyes
That's
look
true.
Mongolian, then he probably could have just played John Wayne. But yeah, no, these guys that they don't get Jesse Smollett doesn't get a pass, only because for him. So now he's one of those characters that I didn't even know he was in Mighty Ducks. I don't even remember him in Alien Covenant.
I don't remember him at all.
I remember him in Empire because I watched the first season of Empire.
I mean, yeah.
But I didn't know who this guy was really outside of Empire. So, his crime didn't divide ideology or certain things. He almost divided an entire country.
Yeah.
His crime on this list. I mean, Kevin Spacey's terrible. Harvey Weinstein, probably the worst person on here. Alec Baldwin, I'm looking at asshole. James Franco, jerk. Paula Dean, racist. I mean, Michael Richards, Seinfeld. How do you not like Kramer, right? But he said some stuff to me that affects me a little bit more. Now, would I not watch?
So now, did you see or hear the?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole
here?
thing. Yeah,
I didn't. I don't really remember it that much. I mean, he was getting heckled, right?
he was getting heckled,
And he lost his cool.
he lost his cool. But they say sometimes when people say things out of anger or alcohol
It's
or
just showing who
whatever,
they really are.
it's the actual truth, right? So, and then he gets on there. He's trying to get people to try to bring everybody back into his good graces, which is he tried way too soon. He should have let things die down a little bit. But when you're dropping the N word to people and saying you're an N, you're an N, you're an N, yeah, that again, that's not a. And I know I'm contradicting myself here, and that's not something that I would think I could go back to. Like, I mean, will I still watch Seinfeld? Yes, I do, because it's a great show. I separate the art from the artist. Now, if Michael Richards put out some new show today, if he came out with something else, I probably wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't want to see it, because now that's going to remind me of what he did from that point going forward, and it's still kind of hard for me to watch Seinfeld thinking that I can't believe this guy's a racist, and is he a racist? Maybe not. Maybe he just said it out of anger, and he just, people say things they because they want to get a rise out of you. They say the thing they think is going to hurt you the most. Maybe he said that. I don't know, but that was hard to watch.
However, there were no black people in Seinfeld.
There was never, yeah.
When they asked Jerry Seinfeld about that, he's like, "Really? Is that what you're going to take from this?"
Yeah.
One of the most popular shows in TV that everybody loved, no matter what color.
No matter
they
what
were.
color you were, yeah.
It's like
it's hard to find a racial divide with Seinfeld, and I don't know why. It's maybe because it's a show about nothing, and it was just such a hodgepodge of different subjects.
They make fun of their own stereotypes.
Yeah. They also didn't they have, what was it? Jackie Chow was in there.
Well, that's true.
The
He
lawyer,
was. They did
yeah.
have a black.
They did have a black guy, the lawyer.
Yeah.
And he was hilarious. I think
He was very good.
He was one of the best characters in there. But he was
liked him.
a few times he was in there. But
I forgot about Jackie Childs.
Jackie Childs, the lawyer. But he
they're real,
wasn't-
Jerry, and they're spectacular.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right. It was kind of hard to get past the Michael Richards thing.
I thought that was funny because you did mention, and all of a sudden I remembered it. But Jerry, when he was interviewed and asked about that, he was like, "Really? Is that all you get?" So he didn't even address Jackie Childs. So Maybe
Probably
he
because
forgot.
to him, or just to him, he,
wasn't a big
he
deal.
didn't think it was a race thing.
No.
He just, he picked the characters that was in there that fits his lifestyle. Now it would have been, and it could have thrown the dynamic off because I look at it this way, and we're going off the thing here, but stay with me.
Yeah.
Now imagine if they had a black character in there. How would you write that character? And then would you upset people because certain things? Because sometimes George Costanza is the butt of the joke in one episode, right? Michael Richards the butt of the joke. So what happens when you make the black person the butt of the joke? Now everybody,
divisive.
yeah, it becomes divisive. Yeah, oh, well, you just treat him like that because he's black.
Yeah. But then again, you also have the episode where George is the king of the episode because he does everything he doesn't normally do, and he succeeds.
He succeeds. Yeah.
He does the opposite.
Yep.
This is opposite George.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you have to be careful. Like the soup Nazi,
Yeah.
The soup Nazi. It was like, okay, well.
But that was based on a real character.
Yeah, it was. It was. Top of the muffin. I mean, there's so many iconic episodes from Seinfeld.
But anyway, back to the whole thing. Like Larry asked you earlier, do you have an artist that you would have a hard time separating from if you found out they were in some kind of compromising position that's more than just like an adulterous affair or something like that?
Yeah, something serious.
Something serious.
I mean, we got like Danny Masterson. That guy's got like life in prison, and that's pretty bad for whatever he did. I know it was rape and stuff like that, but I've never seen anybody get life for that. That's
well,
you
bad. Get some people that do less time for murder than they do for other crimes.
That's true.
Depending on where they were convicted.
That's true.
And what state they were convicted.
Kevin Spacey, and there's just a few names for you guys to kick around. I mean, there's a few names on our list.
Let's go back to what you were saying earlier about how, like with Michael Richards, how sometimes, something someone says reveals who they really are.
Right.
Mel Gibson, in a drunken stupor, gets pulled over and starts blaming the Jewish community for everything. How do you feel about that?
I don't think he's ever really recovered from that. I personally, will I not watch another Lethal Weapon movie? Yes. I won't watch I guess they're working on 5 now. They're doing another Lethal Weapon movie.
They keep saying that, but
Would I rush out to go see it? No. Am I excited about a new Mel Gibson movie? Do I look for new Mel Gibson movies? No. I think the last movie I watched of his after that was Edge of Darkness.
Where his daughter dies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie.
It's a good movie.
It was a great movie. And it was kind of hard to separate. And even then, I was still kind of taken back from what he had said. Mm-hmm. I'm not Jewish. It's not like Michael Richards affected me. I'm not Jewish, so it shouldn't affect me the same way that Michael Richards' comments does. But you kind of hold a lot of these people at a higher standard. These are people that are role models and things like that.
Yeah, you expect something better.
Expect something better, right? Either don't say anything at all, disappear, whatever. But don't come out saying things like that. And he was drunk.
But again, did that reveal who he really was?
I think that revealed a little bit more of who he really was. Yeah. Do I think that was the actual Mel Gibson? I do. I do think that's him. I do think some of these actors, the pleasant persona that you see in these interviews is another character.
Yeah.
It's not the real person. It's like I always tell people when you do online dating, right? It's like you're never meeting the actual person. You're meeting your representative.
Right.
That's who you're talking to. The real person is hiding away somewhere back there. And I think that's the same with a lot of these actors.
Well, and again, I think the ones that have the more private lives are the ones that are the smarter ones.
Right.
Who don't. You don't really hear much about Tom Hanks. You don't hear much
Keanu
about
Reeves.
Harrison Ford, Keanu Reeves. They're not, they stay out of the way. They stay out of the limelight. Yeah. And so you don't expect that much.
Yeah. And those are the guys that I would be surprised to hear something terrible about those guys. I know Tom Hanks was in the Epstein, but but it's like, do I believe it? They don't have anything, they don't have anything incriminating. So, Toy Story 5, I might just watch,
I definitely want to watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it the other night. I was hoping you would go to the movie because I got one of these two guys slides on the screen.
Oh,
so we're going to be on the screen. For
That's what you were
nights.
talking about, the slide on the screen at
Yeah.
the movie theater. Okay, I got the message, and I was sitting there looking. It's like, What do you mean slide on the screen? I said, oh, I thought maybe he's talking about the podcast.
Yeah, so we have our These Two Guys slide on our local movie theater screen. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, and there's another thing too. We're actually we're local celebrities here. So I was going to tell you this.
Oh,
The owners of the 2 bars in town
Yeah.
at Jerry's and Bridgeport Market, they would like us to go and bring a sweater and a drink to their grandson for his birthday.
Oh.
The 2 of us.
and when is that?
His birthday's not until the 1st, but anytime
July
between now and
1st?
then. Yeah, July 1st.
Kind of hard to get a sweatshirt by then, I think.
Well, do you have any still?
Not unopened, no.
Oh, okay. Well, we can try.
I've got a T-shirt, but it's probably too big for him. He's a tall, thin guy.
Yeah. Oh, you know the kid.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. So they just asked me that yesterday.
I got an apron.
I think if we bring him something and then promise something else, I think he'd probably be happy with it. But apparently he's big fans, like you guys should be.
Yeah. Why don't you like and subscribe? That's all we
And
ask.
that's all we ask.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, it was a former COO of our hospital here, Jason Hawkins. And I'm like, do you watch? Oh, yeah, I watch podcasts. Have you watched our podcast? No, I haven't watched your podcast. I said, how many of the podcasts that you watched have you liked and subscribed? And he said, oh, none of them. I'm like, well, you're not helping the people
You're not
out.
helping. Yeah.
I mean, even if it's not us, you're not helping the people out. If you don't like and subscribe, if you like what you're watching and you want to see it continue, you better like and subscribe. Not
Yeah.
everybody makes a 1-year anniversary.
No. That's actually pretty good. We'll pretend cake right here. You guys can't see it.
Yeah,
Maybe we can
thin
superimpose one.
Yeah.
Happy 1-year anniversary.
Happy 1-year anniversary. But anyway, so I just, again, we just kind of hit on some of this stuff. It's like, there are some actors that, as long as they're making good movies, I'd probably continue to watch them, depending on the crime.
On crime. Yeah. Adultery is not one of those things. And now if they're telling me sexual allegations versus an actual conviction, because I don't believe, I'm a mama's boy. I don't believe in supporting any man that puts hands on a woman for no reason.
Right.
Any type of, I don't do that. Which kind of leads to the hate, because I was one of those guys that got accused of doing something that I don't do. Right. So it's one of the things I hate the most, and I got accused of it. So that's where my hate comes from, that one person.
There you go. Watch out, Peter. They're coming to get you.
No, I'm staying away, because then I will become that person that I got accused of being. No, that's one of the things where I draw the line. So you got the Harvey Weinstein. I think Kevin Spacey goes the other way. So I think his was men, but still same thing.
Yeah, his was men. And again, I think the one actor was
The guy-
16 or 15.
Yeah, it's the guy
That he
from
was-
Star Trek.
Yeah, that he
Star
was
Trek
trying
Discovery.
that he was trying to get in his pants or whatever it was. But yet he's been acquitted of several of the charges. So I don't. Again, what happens when you're told that this is who he is, and then he's acquitted?
Yeah, and Kevin Spacey's one of those guys that honestly, it's kind of hard for me to believe. It was hard for me to believe at first. I just like, no. There's only one person, then all of a sudden other people start coming forward. So, okay, maybe there's something behind it. Kevin Spacey is one of those guys that he can get so deep into a character, and Kevin Spacey's ranges are different than, I would say, like a Denzel Washington range, right? Verbal Kent and the Usual Suspect.
Yeah.
He's got The Walk, or you looking at, all of a sudden he becomes Kaiser Soze, which we never got to see him in that actual character. But he was a badass, right? Yeah. And then you can see Kevin Spacey doing that. Or you look at when he's playing Van Zant in L.A. Confidential.
He did Bobby Darin. He played Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
What a great movie, Beyond the Sea.
He's gotten into some of his characters a little bit different than I would say some of these guys do, but I just could not see him.
But maybe it goes to the twisted person that he is, and that's why he's able to do that. And I'm not saying he's twisted. I shouldn't say that, because I don't know.
Here's another question too, and this is for you guys as well. Do you think some people they spend their career, their whole life, getting into different characters so much that they lose themselves?
I think so.
You think so?
I would think so. I think there are people like that. I think Brando was one of those.
Marlon Brando?
He
Oh my
became
God,
a
yeah.
caricature of himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of of any others that are like that.
Well, Heath Ledger, I mean, that poor guy died, with the
Yeah.
craft. I mean, he didn't die from the craft. Well, I guess he kind of did, but
after doing the Joker, he apparently went in this deep, dark place.
6 weeks in a hotel, just talking to himself.
Yeah,
to build a
doing
character,
heroin.
right, or whatever. Yeah, he was doing.
Well, the heroin might have come after. I don't know, but I mean, he was, and that was a guy I thought, man, what a great actor.
Yeah, and some of these guys, I think a lot of these people lose themselves. I mean, I did drama classes when I was in high school. I studied for a play as an understudy, and it was a war story, and I just could not get into character. I could not build a character. I just read the lines and acted the way I think the character would want, would act. And it was a guy that was, it was a racial thing about Vietnam War, a platoon interacting with another white platoon. And I think there was an assassination that kind of created this racial tension. And I was supposed to play this character named Spider. And Spider was a complete nutcase. The guy was friggin' nuts. And I couldn't do it.
You couldn't go down that.
I couldn't go down that path. I couldn't get into the craziness that I watched the guy who got the part and how he played Spider. And I'm like, there's no way I can do that. There's no way I can get in there. I mean, that guy was crazy. He would, he'd turn it on and off like a switch. And I couldn't do that. And I'm thinking that some of these guys are the same thing. Sometimes those switches don't get turned back off, and they become part of who they.
Especially method actors. I
Yeah.
mean, they get to that and then something clicks and it doesn't click back.
Doesn't
The switch
reset.
comes on and they can't turn it off.
Yeah, the Jared Leto's of the world and things of that
Yeah.
nature, So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys subscribe to that? Do you think some actors and actresses, movie stars, musicians, do you think sometimes they get so far caught up into the art and everything that sometimes they just can't let certain parts of that character go?
Well, again, it goes back to, is that just a snippet of who they actually are anyway?
Yeah.
In other words, are they that much off? Some of the weird things you hear that musicians do, or some of the weird things you hear that actors do. Is that part of their art, that what makes them good, or is that just a messed up person trying to find an avenue to express themselves?
Yeah, it's a good question. And we would like to hear you guys answer.
Yeah. This feels good to me. A good stopping point. Does it feel good stopping point?
I think so too.
All right.
You want to go over some of the? I just want to go over some of the names there. Maybe
All
give
right.
you guys food for thought. Maybe you haven't thought of somebody, but maybe going down this list of names, it might spark something, and then you'll.
Well, we really didn't touch on Will Smith this time.
No, we didn't touch
Not
on Will
much.
Smith. We did talk a little bit about Will Smith last time. We got Mel Gibson, Danny Masterson from that 70s show and The Ranch and Men at Work, Matt Lauer from Today's Show. He did the Olympic coverage, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Charlie Rose was a surprise to me.
Charlie
to see
Rose was
he
a surprise. Yeah.
He was messed up. Anyway, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Actually, I wasn't surprised to him.
He seemed like a guy that would play with himself.
Yeah.
front of
It's
people.
like Louis C.K. I was like, yeah, okay, next.
Yeah.
Wasn't
And
surprised.
he's pretty much rebuilt his career.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he is.
Alec Baldwin.
He's kind of a dick.
He's a total dick.
And his brothers. I mean, I've watched some interviews with his brothers recently. They are like out there, man.
Well, Stephen is he's completely religious. I can't say his. I won't say it because it won't sound nice, but he's really, really deep into religion. I believe, right? Stephen Baldwin. That's why he doesn't. You don't get.
Well,
to hear from him
I
anymore.
forget which brother I was watching, and I thought it was Stephen, but maybe not. No, Stephen was the one that was in
The
Harley
usual-
Davidson and the Marlboro Man,
Yes.
right? Okay.
No,
So
no,
this-
no. That's the other one.
Oh,
That's Adam. Is it Adam Baldwin? Because there's Stephen, Alec, and I want to say Adam, and it's not the same Adam Baldwin that's in
that was on
Firefly.
Firefly and
The spy movie, the spy show.
the
you're
Spy
talking
Show.
about.
Yeah,
you're
that's the
talking
one
about.
I'm talking about with
Yeah.
Zach Levy.
Yeah. I can't remember that. That'll come to me too.
Chuck.
Chuck.
Oh, took forever.
Jesse Smollett, which everybody knows. Jonathan Majors.
And we talked about him.
We talked about him. Army Hammer. We talked about.
Yeah. James Franco a little bit, Chris Noth.
Bryan Singer, we never really touched on. He was the director of the X-Men, The Usual Suspects.
And I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what his story was.
I thought that, so from my understanding is there was also sexual allegations with him, but I thought he got completely exonerated. I thought he, but he was tainted so badly that nobody wants to touch him. And I haven't seen anything from Bryan Singer
In a long time.
Yeah. Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah.
I didn't know about him.
Yeah, I didn't either. And I thought it's because, he played the transgender.
Yes.
In that
Transplant.
show.
Transparent.
Transparent, yeah. And of course, on the Larry Sanders Show,
Mm-hmm.
hey now, So I didn't know that about him.
He was a funny
Roseanne
guy.
Barr, she's just a racist, I think.
She is. I watched her on Tony Hitchcliffe, and she seemed like she wasn't there altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paula Dean, another one.
Miss Butter. Yeah. Paula Dean's Home Cooking, Paula Dean's Best Dishes, and she's a Food Network Specials. Yeah, what she said was also kind of hard. And as you guys can see,
Didn't
the thing.
she say the N-word too?
Yeah, she dropped the N-word. So it's kind of hard to get past that one. But I didn't watch her shows anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. Lori Loughlin, now she's just, this is one of those things. It's like, she paid somebody to get her kid in college.
Yeah.
You know
That
what?
was Felicity Huffman.
And she wasn't. I think they both were.
Or were they both part of that college
I
scandal?
think they both were part of that. And again, it's like, so what?
Yeah. It was terrible, but it was like for me it was nothing too far of jaywalking.
Yeah.
I mean, in my hemisphere. Now, for some people who are struggling to get their kid into college, it might be a little bit more impactful to them.
Well, what makes this really bad is what was it I was watching the other day? I don't remember who. It might have been Bill Maher, one of those, where he's talking about he's like, I went to state school. I got people working for me that went to Harvard. So it's there's so much emphasis put on these schools.
Yeah.
And it's really about the person whether they become successful or not.
I agree.
Anyway. And Cuba Gooding Jr., I don't know what happened with him.
I know he did. I've seen tons
Show me your mommy.
I've seen tons of videos of him in court, and it does not look good.
What was he accused of?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's one of the funniest things is I've seen and heard the stories, but Cuba Gooding Jr. is one of those guys that I followed his career, watched a lot of his movies, and then he started doing like the direct-to-video movies. And
But I loved his movies.
his last movie, one of his last movies that he did that I watched that I really liked, I like Boat Trip, was a movie called The Hit List. And it was a direct-to-video with him with Cole Hauser, maybe his name is Cole Hauser.
The one that's in from Yellowstone?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have this chance meeting, and Cole Hauser just had a really, really bad day. Like all this crap happened to him, and he runs into Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba Gooding Jr. is this mental like assassin, and he's just completely losing his shit. And they have a couple of drinks together, they spend some time together, and Cuba Gooding asks him, and I'm not giving you guys anything more that's in the trailer if you want to go see it. It's a direct-to-video movie from him, and I thought it was actually pretty good because Cuba goes straight Terminator mode in this movie, and it's actually really good.
All right, so he unwanted sexual advances, touching and groping, in a nightclub,
Yes.
in a bar. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor forcibly touching charge and admitted to additional instances of non-consensual contact under a plea agreement. Apparently, what Donald Trump said wasn't true.
About the
But you can just grab them wherever you want. So maybe that's
Well, was he actually ever rich?
No, but this was in 2022, so it was after.
It was after that.
After the Donald Trump thing. So maybe he thought, hey, if Donald can do it,
Donald said we can do it.
so can I. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, he was accused of rape in 2013. Though he denied the allegation, maintaining the encounter was consensual. And that's another one of those things. There, when you become famous, you know what? You can be in a consensual situation one night, and you can be in a rape situation the next
Is
day.
that what happened with Shaq? Didn't Shaq have one of those too?
Might have.
Yeah,
Might have.
I think Shaq went to. Shaq, don't sue me if I'm wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong.
And again, it's like, it's like, this person has money. They're going to, someone's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of what our take was this week. We also wanted to say it's our anniversary, 1 year anniversary. The only thing we didn't talk about is the update on the bricks and minifigs, but it's not till the 22nd. So we'll have some more information on that coming up next week. So like and subscribe.
Comment.
Tell your friends about us. We want to get these numbers up there. So appreciate you. We
And
really
share.
do.
You
Share.
can also share. There's a little button that kind of looks like a little arrow that kind of goes off to
Yeah,
the
it's-
right-hand side. You click on that and you
over
can
there.
copy the link,
Share.
repost.
Peace.
Take care.
It's these two guys. These two guys.
It's these two guys.